Studio, welcome to Oprah Motivate, your space for deep truth, healing, and real transformation. If you're ready to grow, rise, and live with purpose, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Dizzy why we chase happiness and why it keeps escaping us? Let's begin with this question. How we live, always be happy, dizzy, deep Oprah-style motivational speech on joy, peace, and purpose. Or what if everything you've ever been told about happiness was incomplete? Not wrong, just shallow. Because in the world we live in, we treat happiness like it's out there somewhere far ahead of us. It's in the job we don't have yet, in the relationship we're waiting on, in the house we want to buy, or the number in the bank account. We're taught to chase it, work for it, strive for it, fix ourselves to finally be worthy of it. And because of that, we spend our lives in a race towards something that always moves just a little further away. And the truth is, we never really arrive. Because happiness was never meant to be chased. It was meant to be cultivated. Grown from the inside out, lived, not earned. Direct hit, you don't find joy. You become it. Let me say something that might shake your soul awake. You are not broken. You are just distracted from your own joy. You've been conditioned to chase, to strive, to fix, to seek, to compare. And in doing that, you've disconnected from something that was always inside you, a deep, grounded, steady joy that doesn't depend on circumstances, a joy that can exist even when the world is loud, a joy that isn't perfect, but is real. This speech, this message, it's not about some fantasy of permanent happiness. It's about learning how to live with joy day by day as a practice, not a prize. We're not just talking about a feeling good. We're talking about something deeper than dopamine and deeper than performance. We're talking about peace that cannot be stolen, joy that doesn't need permission, purpose that gives your life direction, wholeness that exists even in your healing. This is what it means to be happy. The lies we were told about happiness. Let's start at the root. The lie we were sold. If you achieve enough, you'll finally be happy. It sounds good on the surface. It even feels logical. We're told, get the job, then you'll feel secure. Find the right partner, then you'll feel loved. Lose the weight, then you'll feel beautiful. Make the money, then you'll feel powerful. Get noticed, then you'll feel valuable. So what do? We hustle, we grind, we sacrifice, we hold in our tears, we put on the mask. We chase, and some of us even get all those things, but we still feel empty. We still lie awake asking, why don't I feel happy? And the answer is simple, but confronting, because your joy was never meant to be built on external things. Repeat button, the loop that never ends. External happiness is like a treadmill. You get one thing, you feel good for a moment, then the feeling fades. You set a bigger goal, you reach it, you crash again. We live in the loop, always trying to fill a hole with achievement, applause, attention, or approval. But the more we fill it from the outside, the more empty we feel inside. And here's the dangerous part. We start thinking that maybe we are the problem, that maybe we're ungrateful or broken. That if success doesn't feel like joy, we must not be worthy of joy. But that's not true. The problem isn't you, the problem is the model you were handed. Redefining happiness for real life. Let's pause. Let's throw away the old model. Let's redefine happiness, not as something we chase, but something we create. Let's start with this question. What if happiness is a lifestyle, not a reward? What if it's built on small moments, honest relationships, restored peace, purposeful action, radical self-acceptance? What if it's not about finally arriving, but about how you walk the road? Not how your life looks, but how your soul feels living it. Female joy is quiet, real happiness. The kind that lasts is quiet. It's not always loud or shiny. It doesn't always get likes or views. Sometimes happiness is saying no without guilt, waking up and not feeling dread, laughing at something simple, going to sleep, knowing you were real all day, breathing deeply without needing a reason. In these moments, they're not accidents. They're evidence that you're already creating a joyful life. You just haven't stopped long enough to notice. Light bulb the shift. Stop striving. Start sensing. Here's the shift I want you to feel, not just understand. Happiness isn't in doing more. It's in being more present. Joy isn't something you force. It's something you feel when you finally allow yourself to be here. Not in your past, not in your plans. Right here, now, in your body, in your breath. In this moment, because the only place joy ever lived was here. with you all along. What we've learned so far, let's take a breath and summarize the truth that's rising inside you now. You've learned, white heavy check mark, that happiness is not out there. It's in how you live, white heavy check mark, that the achievement equals happiness formula is broken, white heavy check mark, that peace is worth more than applause, white heavy check mark, that joy is found in the small present. Honest moments, white heavy check mark, that your purpose fuels your happiness more than your performance, white heavy check mark, that you are not broken. You are ready to return to you, and this is just the beginning. Crystal ball, what's coming next? In the next chapters, we're going to go deeper. We're going to uncover how to build happiness intentionally, like a lifestyle, how to protect your peace from draining people and situations, how to wake up every day with a sense of purpose, how to stop performing joy and start living it, because from this point forward, your happiness isn't up for debate. It's not optional. It's not a reward. It's how you live, and you're going to live it fully, freely, fearlessly. The purpose principle, why joy needs direction. Let's talk about purpose. Because if happiness is the feeling we want, purpose is the path that gets us there. We often mistake happiness for pleasure and confuse peace with passivity. But real sustainable joy doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's meaningful. You see, your soul was never designed for an empty existence. You were not born to wake up, scroll, work, repeat, and call that life. Your soul needs purpose, not just to be successful, but to be alive. Fire, what is purpose really? Let's remove the pressure. Purpose isn't some magical calling you stumble into one day. It's not fame. It's not your job title. It's not about being a special. Purpose is alignment. It's when what you're doing matches what your soul came here to express. It can look like raising a child with intention, healing your body, and teaching others how to do the same, building a business with impact, creating something from your heart, speaking truth into a world drowning in noise. Purpose doesn't need a stage. It needs your yes. It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it and why. Thought balloon purpose is the anchor of real joy. Here's what purpose does for your happiness. It grounds you when things feel chaotic. It pulls you out of emotional drift. It gives your mornings meaning. It gives your setbacks context. When you know why you're waking up, you no longer need life to be perfect. Because you're not living for comfort. You're living for impact. And impact feels better than any temporary high. Brain, how to find purpose in the ordinary. Some of you are still searching, and that's okay. But let me say this, a purpose is not found, it's felt. You feel it when your actions bring you peace. You feel it when something lights you up, even if it doesn't impress anyone else. You feel it when you help someone, and it doesn't drain you. To begin living with purpose, ask, what do I do that energizes me even if no one sees it? Ask, what pain have I overcome that I can help someone else navigate? Ask, where do I feel the most connected to my values? And then start doing more of that. Not someday, today. Sparkling heart, self-compassion. Happiness starts within. Let me ask you something powerful. Would you be friends with someone who talks to you the way you talk to yourself? Would you feel safe with them? Would you trust them? Would you feel loved? Too many of us are fighting battles on the inside that no one else can see because we've made our inner voice the enemy. We call ourselves names. We punish ourselves for mistakes. We expect perfection and call it a motivation. And we wonder why happiness feels so far away. But joy cannot grow in a hostile environment, and your soul cannot thrive where it's constantly being criticized. The difference between discipline and self-attack, let's be clear. You can hold yourself accountable without destroying yourself. You can grow without shame. You can evolve without guilt. Discipline says, I believe in your future. Criticism says you're never good enough. The voice in your head, it sets the tone for your entire life. So what would happen if you changed it? What if you said, I made a mistake and I still love me? We didn't do everything perfectly, and I'm still proud I showed up. I'm allowed to rest without having to earn it. That's not weakness, that's inner leadership. Person in lotus position, self-compassion is a path to peace. When you soften toward yourself, your whole nervous system relaxes, your inner child heals. Your anxiety eases, your creativity flows, and suddenly joy starts coming back, not because life is perfect, but because you've stopped being at war with yourself. If you want to feel happiness consistently, learn to give yourself grace daily, not when you would deserve it, always. Slow down or you'll miss it all. Let's breathe for a moment. Inhale, exhale. Now hear this. The fastest way to lose your joy is to rush through your life. We're addicted to speed, to checking boxes, to hurrying through one moment so we can get to the next. But if happiness lives in the present and you're always in a rush, you'll never feel it, even when it's right in front of you. Stop signing the myth of a when I get there. How many times have you told yourself, I'll slow down once I finish this, I'll rest once I achieve that? You'll enjoy life when I get there, but here's the truth. Fun is a moving target, and if you don't learn to enjoy the now, you'll hate every season on your way there. Joy doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It shows up in the ordinary, but you have to be present enough to notice it. Slowing down is a radical act in a world that celebrates hustle and urgency. Slowing down looks like rebellion, but it's not laziness. It's wisdom. It's choosing stillness over chaos, depth over speed, savoring over surviving, presence over pressure. And when you do, life starts feeling full again. Not because you changed everything, but because you finally stopped rushing past the life you already have. Open book practices for slowing down and living happier. Here's how you start. Begin each day with silence, even 5 minutes. Eat slowly and actually taste your food. Take phone-free walks. Celebrate one small win before going to bed. Create space in your schedule, not just for work, but for joy. Don't wait until vacation to feel alive. Choose aliveness today, in your rhythm, in your rest, in your presence. Let's ground everything we've just explored. Purpose fuels happiness. It gives your life direction and depth. Self-compassion is peace. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Slowness reveals joy. Be here now, or you'll miss the life you're living. And these aren't one-time lessons, they are daily choices. Every morning you wake up, you can choose purpose over performance, grace over pressure, stillness over speed, joy over chasing. And when you do, you don't just find happiness, you become it. Protecting your energy and joy, let me ask you something. How much of your unhappiness comes from things you could have walked away from? Not all pain is avoidable, but some suffering, we choose it over and over because we refuse to protect our peace. You see, joy is natural. Peace is your birthright. The world will try to take both from you if you're not intentional. So if you want to live happy, truly happy, you have to start doing something radical. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Collision, you are not available for everything anymore. You're not available for people who only reach out when they need something, conversations that go nowhere, friendships built on gossip and obligation, pleasing everyone while you're breaking inside, relationships that silence your truth, environments that chew, drain your spirit no more. You don't owe your peace to people who didn't help you build it. Brain energy is your currency. Think of your energy like money. You wouldn't hand your last $100 to someone who doesn't value it, would you? But you give away your energy, your time, your focus, your joy to people and places that don't invest back. That's emotional bankruptcy. And if you don't start setting boundaries, you'll run out. Shield boundaries are self-love in action. Let's redefine boundaries. They're not walls, they're filters. They say, what can enter my life? This is what honors my joy. This is what aligns with my peace. Everything else, no thank you. No thank you. You're allowed to block the number, leave the conversation, say no without an explanation, walk away without guilt, stop over-explaining to people committed to misunderstanding you. That's not rudeness. That's emotional maturity. Sparkles, your peace is not up for debate. If someone gets upset because you chose peace, let them. If someone withdraws because you said a no, let them. You're not responsible for other people's comfort at the expense of your clarity. The most loving thing you can do for the world is be whole. And you can't be whole when you're fragmented to please everyone else. So today you protect your joy, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Because your joy deserves to live in a space where it's safe to bloom. Rainbow living joyfully, not a dream, but a daily decision. Let's bring it all home. We began with a lie that happiness is something to chase. We've uncovered a deeper truth. Happiness is how you live, not where you arrive. And now we move from understanding to embodying. Light bulb, what real joy looks like. Real joy isn't a perfect life. It's an aligned one. It's not about being happy all the time. It's about being at peace with who you are and where you're going. Joy is not loud laughter every day, endless success, always feeling good. Joy is feeling grounded in your soul, trusting yourself even when things are uncertain, making peace with the past, not needing permission to be at ease, showing up fully. Even if you're still healing, counterclockwise arrows button. Joy is a lifestyle, not a mood. From this day forward, you don't try to be happy. You decide to live joyfully. That means you focus on your purpose, not people's opinions. You move slowly so you don't miss the miracle of now. You speak gently to yourself. You protect your peace with sacred boundaries. You choose love over fear. You laugh often. Even if life isn't perfect, happiness becomes a way of being, not a reward you earn. Folded hands, a promise to yourself. So I want you to make a promise, not to me, not to anyone else, to yourself. Say it with me. From this moment forward, I live with intention. I choose peace over pressure. I speak to myself with compassion. I protect my energy like it's gold. I walk in purpose, not perfection. I do not chase happiness, I live it. Because you are the source. And when you live like you know that, the whole world starts responding differently to you. Glowing star final message from Oprah Motivate. You don't need a different life to be happy. You need a different way of living, the one you have. So slow down, breathe deeper, stand taller, speak kinder, smile without a reason, walk like peace is your home, laugh like your joy isn't negotiable, live like happiness is your default setting, not your distant goal, because it is.